Hi guys, welcome to Next Step with Cherry. So I know that a lot of us want to study in Australia, moving to Australia through study pathway, which seem to be maybe a little bit easier for some people. And then you might be wondering about how is life there as a student? Can you get a job that can sustain you, like to pay your remaining tuition? Do you have like low tuition university that is even lower than schools in UK? And also how is also like after the graduation jobs, and how you can even apply for admission. And that is what we are going to cover today. So guys, you need to stay to the end of this video if you want to. I mean, by September, I need to see you in Australia, you that is watching me. So I am so glad that we have our sister here, and she's going to tell us about Australia, studying in Australia, and all the information that we need to hear. So without wasting much time, let us go straight to what we have. Hello, welcome to our channel today. So can you introduce yourself to us?
Hi everyone, my name is Jane and I'm a YouTuber. My YouTube channel is Jane Kenny's Creation, where we talk, or rather where we keep it real. Okay, good to have me. I'm happy to be here. Yes, so today we are talking about Australia, study in Australia, and every other information. So yeah, let's dig in.
Okay, so the first question that I will ask is, let's say that I apply to those low tuition universities in Australia, and then I can only afford the percentage deposit that was told me, like that the university told me to pay.
Okay.
So what are the opportunities out there in Australia? Can I be working and also get enough money to pay my rent and my tuition? So if no, what is your advice to anyone that want to move to Australia without so much money on that tuition?
Okay. First of all, I just want to point out about the tuition part payment. Okay. So we have 2 semesters in Australia. When you look for admission, you can start in first semester, which is February, or second semester, which is July to November, December. Okay. So it doesn't matter. You can start in any semester and call it your first semester. Okay.
Mm.
Then when you're paying your school fees before coming over, before they give you proof of enrollment, confirmation of enrollment, confirmation of enrollment, COE, yes. So for you to go for your visas, because that will prove that you have admission now, the school has accepted you and you have paid something to them to hold your admission. Before they can give it to you, you have to pay sometimes 50% of your first semester school fees. Okay. Sometimes it may not be up to 50% of your first semester. Remember, you still have your second semester, but they're dealing with only your first semester, just that's part of it. Okay. Now, when you get admission and you land in Australia, and we're talking about the subsequent fees, yes, you will make it.
Wow.
As long as you are healthy. In Australia, you hardly see that someone said, I came with student visa and I drop out. So when we talk about job for international students, there used to be limitation. Like you have to work only 40 hours per fortnight. That is, in 2 weeks, you work only 40 hours. And in 1 week, you work only 20 hours. Now, that's not happening anymore. That's not happening since last year. Okay. Ooh. So now, if you are currently international students in Australia, I'm saying this because I know some of you that have families now, or sisters and aunties or brothers that are international students in Australia, you are going to go and disturb them to send you money. Don't disturb them, or they have school fees to pay. Leave them alone. Now, you're supposed to work as much as you can. Okay. So maximum hour in Australia is 80 hours in a fortnight, which is in 2 weeks. Okay. For everyone, for me and you cannot go above, but you can if your employer said, okay, I'll pay you overtime.
Oh.
They pay you extra money to work over. So as a student currently in Australia, you can work above that. You can even work up to 120, as long as your employer said, okay, I'll pay you overtime. But 80 hours is cap, which is like you're working like every day. Okay. Now, that is going to stop. It's because of the same scarcity we are talking about. Remember the scarcity of labor in Australia. So they are currently using international students to help to fill the gap as well. So that's why they're saying, go out there and work as much as you can. All right. As long as you're going for your studies. And one good thing about studying in Australia is this. It's not like you are going to your lecture. You know how we study in Nigeria, where you have to go to lecture every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. No. There are still some lectures that you can do online. And there are some lectures that maybe in a day you can do 2 hours. Then you are doing a shift to work. You go home and you go for your job. You can even go for a night shift, come in the morning, sleep, and go for your afternoon lecture. So it's very flexible. Now let's talk about if the government suddenly stop this, which they are proposing to stop in July this year, but they won't stop because there's still scarcity of workforce in Australia. They are not stopping. So the announcement of 5,000 overseas workers is still there. They are still granting visa, chunking out visas every day. Okay.
Like, can you briefly tell us if we can actually apply for admission in Australia without agents, or even if we have agents, are there like agent that does not charge money? Because that is the problem. A lot of us want to apply for admission, but most school will tell you apply to agents, and then these agents keep on calling numbers of money. So what do you think of that?
Okay. Yeah. When you're going to study in Australia, for you to get an admission, you need an agent. But for you to apply for your visa, you don't need an agent. So they need agents to certify your document to say that this is original, like agent that lives in your country that will be able to trace this document and say this is original document before it comes to them. Okay. So, but the good thing is that most of these agents are not charging anything. They're not charging because they're affiliated to schools. They're not supposed to charge because the school is paying them. You are not paying them. The school is paying them to bring you over. Most of the agents I know that are affiliated to school, they don't charge anything for Australian admission. They will tell you, okay? So all you need is to supply your document, but they must make sure that you have your proof of fund, that you'll be ready to pay, because sometimes people say to me that they are talking to agent, but agent is not telling them, taking them serious. It's just from experience. This agent, you know how many inquiries they receive in a day, and most of these people don't have proof of fund. They don't have their school fees ready. And when they're telling these agents and they dedicate their time to talk to them, and when they get in the middle of everything, they find out that you don't have all these things that you're supposed to have.
Okay, so before we end, I would like to ask, so after my studies, let's take UK, for example, you have to look for tier 5 or tier 2 work visa or visa sponsorship, and sometimes it might be hard. So after my studies, what are the chances of me getting job? That is one. And also, what are the chances of me getting job? And if I am going for a bachelor's degree or for a master's degree, what are the type of courses that you can recommend me to go for in case I have an option to choose course?
Okay. So you coming to Australia to study will be like you're coming to do your degree or master's or PhD. Okay. Then when you finish your studies, there is a pathway. I made a video in my channel, Cherry. I made a video that a pathway from student visa to PR, permanent resident. Because why I made that video? Because people will start disturbing me and asking me, if I finish studies, will I be able to stay? I said, I made a comprehensive video to explain to people, study visa to PR. This is the steps. Okay. So I keep saying it.
Description, guys, so that you can as well check it.
Yes,
because of not explained long, so you can just check that video and check everything.
And I also have a video on schools, cheap, low tuition paying schools. And there's another thing we call level 1, 2, 3 schools in Australia. When they assess your visa, student visa, for them to grant you visa, there are students they are looking at. They are looking at the country you are coming from and the school you are going to study. So when people talk about low paying school fees or low schools and blah, 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 I say to them, this shouldn't be your yardstick at this stage. I think you should be going for school that has high rate of visa grant because your target is to come in. Okay. Your target is to pay because you're not paying the full tuition anyway to come in. You are paying that part payment to come in. And when you come in, you hustle like other people and pay your school fees. And at some point, if you think you can't make it in that school, you can change school. You can still change school. People do that. Okay. And you can change courses as well. People still do that. Okay. But the thing is that you cannot be doing your master's and go to VET or degree. It has to be the same level or you go high. You cannot go low. Okay. So these things happen. These are the criteria you have to look at. So I have videos on level 1 schools that if you go through them, at least there is certainty, like 91% chance that their school fees tends to be higher than the low-paying schools. Okay, so then you go to low-paying school. Most of them are level 3 or level 2 schools. Yeah, but they still give visa. But you have to know that you're coming from Africa. You're coming from Nigeria. You're coming from, you need to know that your chances, because there's what is called GTE in Australia, genuine temporary entrance. You have to prove that you are coming. Every country does that.
Yeah.
Prove that you are coming to study and go home. So coming from Nigeria or coming from Africa is also a disadvantage, because they will say the economic situation of this country is not good. It's obvious you are running away. Sherry, the funny thing about these GTEs is that these people know that no one is going anywhere.
Yes.
But they don't want to tick off that when they are doing their job. They know you aren't going anywhere. They need you, but you need to give them what they want. Someone told me that the visa was rejected. I say, shoot, send me email. I need to see a copy of your visa refused. Then I read it. I said that GTE was, I said, send me your GTE. I read the GTE. I said, which agent supported you for this application? You cannot be writing GTE and telling someone that you intend to stay back to do your master. What the heck? You can't do that. Yeah. I said, which agent put you through? So these are the things. When you see people tell you that visa was rejected, there are so many things involved, okay? Your GTE, how did you write it? When someone is sponsoring you, you have to give detail of that person's business or job with proof of their earnings, okay? And how this person is connected to you. Get a proof that you are coming back to a particular job or a business or something. Add it to your GTE and make it juicy enough for someone to say, okay. So these are the things. Your target is not about the low-paying school fees. The target is that the schools that when you get them, you know that you will get visa. That's the target.
Okay, thank you. So before we close, I know that people might ask this question, what about scholarship? So are there universities that offer a little bit scholarship? And are you the one that is going to apply for that, or an agent is going to help you apply for that?
There is scholarship. There is a lot. There is a lot. Agents will not help you to apply for scholarship, okay? But sometimes as they're applying for your admission, some schools already have scholarship they can tick out and say they want to go for that. They can grant you that scholarship. Sometimes they do 50-50. So many people have chatted me and said they have 50% scholarship. They're just looking for the other part. I'm telling you, a lot of Nigerians, Australian government actually has a scholarship for people from Africa and Asia, the developing countries specifically.
So guys, you know that you can move to Australia with your family. And if I move with can my partner work in Australia full time?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So guys, credit. So if you're planning on moving to Australia, if you're planning on moving to Australia with your family, then this is the time to move to Australia, because they are currently looking for workers too. And they are also accepting international students to fill up those positions. So if you have any question, just drop it on the comment section. And also you can drop it on our comment section so that she can as well guide you. And you can follow her on her YouTube channel as well as Instagram channel. So guys, with that, we come to the end of this video today. I hope this video helps one person out there and you have the courage to go on and push into Australia. And I hope and I wish you all good luck. And I'll see you on my next video. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.